So I know that I am 2 or 3 weeks late talking about the riots that have happened over in the UK. A couple of days ago, I had talked about a story where this man he had stabbed a girl and a woman, and it was a conversation about femicide. It's not a conversation about knives, just like this situation about the riots in the UK is all about femicide. But the far right people over in the UK, the racist far right people, seem to be waiting for the moment to pop off. And they used the tragedy of these three little girls that were stabbed at a dance class as a reason to pop off. This woman, the Trad Cat Femme, says most people worldwide now know about the current ongoing crisis and widespread riots in the UK. So I wrote this article to dispel misinformation being spread about the riots. The riots are purely about misogyny.
This is our fucking country, not fucking theirs. This was
my house.
I'm here to save the kids. The children have been murdered. There's been a massacre on the street.
They got the targeting little white girls all over the country. Let's call a spade a fucking spade.
It's like Russian roulette at this point. Which one's going to be next?
No one questioned why BLM were out. No one questions why Palestine are out. We're saving the kids. We're stopping the boats. We're closing the borders. Look how mad we've all gone. This is real women. This is lionesses. This is the lion roaring. I'm not racist and I don't give a fuck what you say.
Then who's trying to kill our kids?
Policies that politicians put in place, yeah?
Stop the boats! Stop the boats! Stop the boats! Stop the boats!
They're calling us far right. We're not far right, we're all fathers and parents of children. These immigrants are coming in without paperwork, we're lying about their ages, we don't know nothing about the backgrounds, and that's what it's about.
We don't want to be branded far right. You know, we're here for the right reasons. I want my kids to know I didn't stay silent. Leave our kids alone.
It's about children that have lost their lives in this city, and we're passionate about that up here.
We're not racist. We've got Muslim friends. Our country has benefited from migration. However, it's just getting overwhelming. We're a very small island. It's become a security risk.
Religion means fuck all, lads. I'm not arsed. This is about people coming in. They could be Christians from Somalia, wherever, and the fucking wrong-uns. That's what it is. We're letting wrong-uns in. This is not religious. That's bollocks. Fucking bollocks. This is about the wrong-uns they're letting in. You can be a Christian, you can be whatever. You're coming in, you've got no intention of fucking helping the country. You're here to cause trouble. You're here to take and thieve and steal. You're here to stay for nothing. So, unfortunately, that's a no-no.
There's 50,000 people here on an MI6 list, isn't there? Start with them, get rid of them, get rid of the people who are killing kids, raping kids, get rid of them.
Now, me and this woman probably don't have a whole lot in common. She is a Catholic woman. She talks about femininity and that kind of thing, but that's not the point. But the point is you can take the meat and spit out the bones. She says the article title is "The 2024 UK Riots is Purely About Male Misogyny." It says, as news of the 2024 UK riots spill out onto international stage, I thought it was necessary for me to share my thoughts on the whole situation. And I like to share thoughts from people that are on the ground. So I'm glad that she wrote this from her perspective. She said, the UK, like most countries, is no stranger to riots. Many countries have had their own periods of civil unrest and riots over the various issues. And most of the time, the riots here in the UK are not this lengthy. But there is something different about these riots. It has become such an issue that I'm having people from America, Africa, and even Asia send me messages of concern. The riots began when a 17-year-old man stabbed and unalived three little girls who were attending a Taylor Swift themed event 2 weeks ago. As usual, there is a lot of misinformation and misconceptions held by foreigners on the whole UK situation. In a way, I do not blame them. People in the UK also have been fed misinformation about the cause or source of the riots, with every fringe organization using the riots and chaos as an excuse to further their own agenda. Some people spread the false information that the attacker was an immigrant, so anti-immigration groups became enraged and started rioting against immigrants. Then it turned out the guy was not an immigrant. He is actually a British-born citizen. However, there was false information being spread that he was Muslim. Then the riots turned into an anti Muslim rioting, which gave radical Muslims who want to enforce Sharia law in the UK an excuse to riot in response, until it was discovered that the man in question was not even Muslim. Now, the only issue that can be pinned on to the perpetrator, seeing as he is not Muslim and he is not an immigrant, is the fact that he is Black. So, of course, now the radical far right groups are now rioting against any non white person. As you can see, it's a complete mess, and the situation has descended into chaos and anarchy, whereby any fringe organization is simply using the riots as an excuse to further their own agenda and spread upheaval. But people are missing the entire point. The root cause of these riots is not about immigrants or non white people or even Islam. It is entirely and purely about male misogyny. And I find it so strange that people cannot see it for what it is. This is a situation where the perpetrator, a man, stabbed and unalived three random people, or even three random children, but specifically three little girls. He targeted the girls because they were female. In the past 4 to 5 weeks in the UK, a man used a crossbow to unalive his girlfriend, and after tying them in their house, he also pew-pewed her mother and sister before attempting to self-delete. Again, the victims here are female. He was white. In the past 24 to 48 hours, another man in London stabbed and tried to unalive an 11-year-old girl. Surprise, surprise, the guy is not even Black like the 17-year-old man above, and he is not Muslim. He is white European. The rates of femicide, women being unalived by men both in the UK and abroad, have grown in recent years. Are you seeing the pattern now? That these 2024 UK riots have nothing to do with race, religion, or immigration, and have everything to do with the male misogyny and the growing male rage that they no longer have easy access to use, exploit, and abuse women anymore due to more women opting out of marriage, dating, and relationships. They are becoming unhinged, like we always knew they were, and dropping their mask fully. Thanks to the red pill content being spewed out in the recent decade and men openly displaying their misogyny, hatred, and contempt of women, women have given up on men, and to protect themselves, they are simply opting out of marriage, out of relationships, and even out of dating. Movements like the South Korean 4B movement and the decentering men movements have gained traction, and these men no longer have access to women to use and abuse. Simultaneously, the male loneliness epidemic continues to rise. But instead of these men working on themselves and trying to become better people that women will want to engage with, they simply go on unaliving rampages, thereby exposing themselves for the lower forms of animals that they truly are. The predators are enraged that they no longer have prey to feed on, so they want to coerce, bully, threaten, and essentially force women into interacting with them so they can continue to use, abuse, and harm women. Anyone who still thinks that these UK riots are about race, immigration, or religion is frankly an idiot. This is entirely about male misogyny, with men becoming unhinged and attacking females. Wake up and smell the misogyny. It's not enough that these men have been attacking and unaliving women. Now they are actually going after little girls, as they are more valuable and easy to target due to their younger years and smaller frames. How sick and depraved they are, and it confirms that a vast majority of men lack empathy and see everyone, including defenseless children, as objects to use, abuse, and destroy. What you are seeing is true male nature. The riots were triggered by male misogyny and male violence, and is kept fueled by male rage, as a lot of men simply just want any excuse to go feral and cause widespread destruction, as they unleash their self-hatred and perpetual internal rage onto the external world. And it's not confined to the UK. Similar situations are erupting in many countries across the world due to red pill, manosphere, and their demonic message being proliferated worldwide thanks to the internet. Do you understand why red pill ideology is so demonic? You cannot be a Catholic and buy into red pill ideologies, and any man who spews any red pill talking points or makes excuses for any red pill content should be viewed with suspicion. They are dangerous. They are a dangerous ticking time bomb, and it would be in your best interest to cut them out of your life completely. Now she starts talking about the Catholic part of it. You can read this yourself if you are interested. This is the part that doesn't pertain to me, but the rest of it was spot on. It is relevant to women globally because we are facing these femicide rates here in the United States, in the UK, and countries in Africa, and the 4B movement starting over in Asia should tell you that misogyny is just rampant. It is everywhere. So join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Have you seen the news in your area talking about the UK riots? Let me know in the comments.
So if you're unaware, the UK riots are happening right now because of that 17-year-old who killed 3 girls about 5 days ago now, which is absolutely horrible. So my condolences to the family. But the main issue why conflict is happening because the media put out there that this 17-year-old is a supposed asylum seeker, a migrant, which the far right group ran with and decided to go berserk because of that. And Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, actually backed that statement at the time. But a couple of days ago, he said, oh, this is a mistake. I apologize. He's not an asylum seeker. He's born here. His parents are from Rwanda. So he's actually a British citizen. And the far-right group, they don't care. They're not trying to hear it. So they're still causing havoc and using that as an excuse to run rampage in the streets as of current. It's as if the far-right group were waiting for the perfect moment to pounce and just go run rampage in the streets. They're using this, even though Keir Starmer confirmed that he's not a migrant, he's born here, that they were waiting for a time to be openly racist and to be openly marginalizing groups. Even if you're not Muslim, if you're a minority in general, you can't be in the streets, all these things. And somehow they want to correlate that we're taking their jobs, all these old things that they used to say, now bringing it up again. It's almost like they were waiting covertly under the covers to then pounce out and use this little reason of which is a mistake, calling him an asylum seeker, to then come and put this false narrative saying that all migrants are bad, migrants are the issues of this country, when in the first place it was just a mistake. It was a mistaken identity of him being a migrant. And this just goes to show the power of how social media can really push a narrative and cause problems. And the fact that Keir Starmer also backed the statement is where the issue is as well. If you're someone who's of leadership, you have to make sure that when you speak, your facts are correct. Because Keir Starmer made this little mistake, this has now led a whole group to go against a lot of people in this country simply because the Prime Minister himself decided to go with one narrative. And he now wants to apologize at this time, and it's just too late. It's too late. As media journalists and as a leader, I think there should be more regulations on how they portray perpetrators, how they portray victims, what they say, and make sure it's factual, because now they're angry. Oh, the Prime Minister's now angry. Oh, these riots, these thugs, these this, these that, but you caused it because of what you said. And the media ran with it as well. So now you want to go blaming everyone else, but you caused it with your words. They need to be more careful as a leader. You know that your words hold weight, and now you want to come and say, "Oh, we're so afraid. We need to take care of the community," but you caused it with your words. As a leader, you should be more cautious. But this is what we're dealing with today, guys. It's actually so bad that it's got out of hand this much. But more of us need to be speaking out on these topics, because we can't just let things just go past our eyes and feel like it's normal. It's not normal. It's horrible. And the media, the politicians just need to do better in general. I'm not taking away from the fact that he committed a crime, and that's absolutely horrible. But when you put a false narrative out and it puts a whole other group in danger, you're doing too much right now. But yeah, that's the backstory.